Hey everyone, it's Christine Gritmon here with Social. I do this show every single week, talking with my very smart friends about different topics in social media. And here I'm looking at the wrong camera. That's a great way to start. Well, anyway, so today I'm here with Vasta of Jump Consulting, and we're talking about groups. Everybody knows about Facebook groups, especially with all the new, I'm blurry. Especially with all the new algorithm shifts, encouraging things like groups. And so I wanted to, why is this echoing? I'm sorry. Technical difficulties. Okay, anyway.
Okay, I am so excited to be here. I can't hear you echoing.
All right, I might just have to stop this watch party business. Focusing on the actual show. Okay, so anyway, I'm here with Vasta, and we are talking about groups, Facebook groups, and how to make them work for you. Hi, Bella.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. My goodness, chaotic Friday, because my kids are off from school. And blurry Friday, apparently. Let's get that focus over here. Oh, I'm focused.
There you go.
It's a journey. Okay, so you do a few things, first of all. You have Jump Consulting, but you started out mainly working with people in the pet industry. I'd actually like to hear just a tiny bit of that before we go on to talk about groups.
Yeah, so in 2002, when I was actually going to school to satisfy my parents' requirement, that's the only reason why I went to college. Any of you guys can relate to that? They wanted to put a curfew on me. And when I realized that I could get paid to sleep at other people's houses, this one lady, Julie, she traveled like 4 days a week. And I was like, lady, I'll pay you. Because it meant that I didn't have to have a curfew. But I started doing it. It was a cool gig at the time. And, I didn't know it then, but I have a real entrepreneurial heart. And, if you tell me I can't do it, then I really try to like prove you wrong and do it. And a couple of people told me like, you can't do that. You're going to college. Like, what are you doing? So long story short, I built it to a 6-figure pet sitting company with 10 employees that I sold in 2016. And I actually started coaching in 2007 when I started getting nationally and locally award winning. And I realized that's my true passion. Like, I love when I get to see the light bulb go off in people's heads and they realize like, wow, I can do it, or we bust fear together. And so that's truly really my mission, is just to inspire, motivate, and challenge and change people into action.
I love that. And so it started as being people who were trying to do what you were doing, right? For the most part?
Yes.
And then it expanded?
Yes. So, with the coaching side of things, I started off like a lot of coaches do, exchanging money for time. Mm-hmm. However, as I grew and developed, I just started saying a lot of the same things over and over and over again. So I developed, downloadable products that are just like the low hanging fruit. It's like very affordable for anybody, mainly for pet businesses. And then, I started doing other programs. So like longer 4-week programs. I wrote a book. The 4 types of dogs every business needs, and it's basically about systems and processes, and building a team. I've created a mastermind. I have an agency side to my company where we provide people with marketing materials. And more recently, in the past year and a half, I've started speaking everywhere about Facebook groups and about leadership, and really getting to excite my soul, because instead of money for time and one-on-one, now I get to inspire the masses on stages.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And it sounds like your entire business journey has been taking it from do what works for you to spreading it with as many people as possible, which is a great segue into groups, because groups are how you've been able to do that. I'm going to assume here that you were active in other people's groups before you decided to venture into your own.
Oh yeah, 100%. So in 2012, Christine, I actually started my own groups. I started it before they were cool.
Oh wow.
And I started, it was called I Own a Pet Sitting Company with Staff. And I wanted to get that niche-y because I was, to your point, in other pet groups, but I really didn't either A, like the advice that was happening in there, so I would be vocal and then people would get angry at me, or there'd just be drama, or just wasn't my cup of tea, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to go make my own sandbox. And that's what I did. And as I've grown, or over the years, it's developed into almost like a funnel. So I've got a really large group that just anyone in the pet industry, any kind of business, groomers, trainers, dog sitters, they can all join in.
What's that one called?
And then,
What's that one called?
Jumpstart Your Pet Business. Because Jump Consulting.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, like, you know, it gets nichier with the I Own a Pet Sitting Company with staff. And then it gets even nichier with the mastermind. Or sometimes I do pop-up groups. Have you heard of pop-up groups, Christine?
Yep. But let's tell the folks at home what a pop-up group is.
Yeah, so pop-up groups are really great. They're for a limited amount of time. Usually there's a buy-in to it. Usually you're providing like, it's kind of like, what's the word? Oh my gosh, I'm going.
It's like a mini
here.
coaching series, sort of.
Thank you. Yeah, or it's like concentrate. You know, like how you get juice and it's concentrate, you gotta add water. Well, this one you don't add water to because it's a lot in a short amount of time. And it's a good way for a coach or a consultant, or if you have a product or a service. I actually am doing one right now, with a pain point that's in the industry that I'm really trying to help people in a short amount of time. So, groups are amazing, Christine, because there's so many ways you can use them.
Absolutely. So, not everyone should start a group, but what are some ways to know that maybe it is time to bring your own group into that Facebook groups landscape?
Yeah, I love that. So I have this analogy. Oops, my desk is going down when I put my water on. I have this analogy about the front yard and the backyard. And if you will allow me a moment, I'll just kind of explain it to your audience.
Please do.
Okay, so the front yard is, that's where you drive by, right? Like if you were to drive down the street right now, you are not actively participating in the front yards of everyone, nor would you actually go and put a in-ground swimming pool in your front yard, or go lay out there in all your glory and sun yourself, or have your kid's birthday party in the front yard. Like, we just don't do that. Mm-hmm. Why? It's not safe. It's not secure. Anybody can walk up. It's just weird, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? That's kind of what our Facebook pages are. They are the drive-by. They are where we're talking to the world. It's where we have our Christmas decorations up or the Halloween decorations up. And it's like us to the world. It's what we want to present. It's the business. In the backyard, Christine, is where the party happens. The backyard is where you have the bouncy house, or maybe you have the keg stand, or the frat party, or the pool party, or the birthday party, or whatever it might be. But what the object is back there is you as the host. You don't go inside your house and go take a nap. You are there to host the party, to make sure that the drinks are still flowing, that the food is still going. You're introducing people to each other because you want them to have engagement and experiences within each other. It's not like they come in and they sit on chairs and look at you and say, okay, what are you going to talk to me about?
Yeah. They know why they're there.
Yeah. So I think that's the very first thing that people have to understand, is that groups are very different than pages. It's the most common question. If I have a page, why do I need a group? Well, the group goes right into Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the whole safety, belonging. People want to feel safe, and even though we technically could screenshot things, the fact that you're in a group, either a closed group or a secret group, people feel a little bit more comfortable sharing. And not only that, but typically these groups have like-minded people. So I'm in a group with NICU moms. So all of these people have experienced NICU with their babies. The example I used earlier, all of these people have experience with a pet business. You and I are in some social media marketing groups, right? Yep. And so we all have that same commonality. And when you have that commonality, you feel a little bit more comfortable sharing something than you might on your page.
Absolutely.
Does that answer your question?
I love that backyard analogy. It is so great. And yes, everyone, I know I'm blurry. Technical difficulties. So let's see if I can bring it back. Focus. All right.
I love that. That's a cool trick.
It's so silly. But anyway, but I love that. And to your point about, the backyard, also people know why they're there. People know.
Maybe it's trying to hone in on your, I think it's trying to hone in on your microphone.
Oh, maybe.
Can you get your microphone out of the shot?
Yeah, I'm not seeing the microphone in the shot, but
it was in my shot, so I think in the bigger shot.
That's probably what it's doing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Problem solving left and right. Bella Vasta.
But you know what, Christine? This is what makes you, and this is what makes this awesome, right, you guys? Because Brian Fanzo was saying this the other day, like, nobody watches you on stage. We're on a stage right now, and they're like going to NASCAR. They don't want you to crash.
No.
They want you
They
to
want us to succeed.
So for anyone out there who's watching us right now, who's terrified of getting on live video, this stuff happens, and this is what you do. You acknowledge it, and you move on.
You do. But I really love that idea. And also, you know, to bring your party analogy a little further, there are different types of parties. You know, I mean, we've all been to that person who's having a party for their LuLaRoe, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
But then there's some parties where it's like, no, let's just enjoy each other's company. So what are some do's and don'ts basically for making sure that that backyard party of a group is worthwhile to everyone there so that people, first of all, are actively going to engage with it, and second of all, don't leave?
Yeah, good question. So first of all, I think before you start, you need to have an end in mind. So you need to know what your goal is with the group, what kind of value you're giving your group. And let me tell you, your business is not valuable enough. Like, people don't care about your business.
No.
So you need to have a little bit of a strategy going into it. And that's going to look very different for a lot of different people, right? So if you have a strategy, you have your content planned, you kind of know your structure, because there's a lot of different tools that you can use, like the unit section or the file section or the event section, or you could bring Zoom group chat into there, or you could
can?
do
Wow.
Huh?
You can bring a Zoom in?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, you could invite people to Zoom, and then you could, like, you know, broadcast it.
I'm blurry again. You can invite them. You can say, come
I guess it wasn't
to
the
my
microphone.
Zoom.
Yeah, so I would say, like, there's not a one size fits all. But you have to know, it's almost like a mini business plan, Christine. You have to understand why you're doing it, and you also have to plan it out, because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to wake up in the morning and go, oh my gosh, I haven't posted in my group. Crap. Mm-hmm. What should I post? Oh my God. I knew I shouldn't have started this group. This group is annoying. I don't know what to do. And that's where people go, oh, well, groups are just annoying. They don't work. Really? Well, nothing that you don't plan for ever works, right? Mm-hmm. So we need to actually take the time and the effort and the energy to plan. And that's what I help businesses do. I help them see how to build that community that might be sponsored by their brand, but creates that awesome engagement. So to your point, a LuLaRoe a party, you know going in, you're going to be sold to.
Yeah.
You just know it. And you also know
it's a barrel full of marks.
No, or how do I get past it, right? Mm-hmm. But if I'm going to a party that, good example. Saturday, I was just invited to my neighbor's backyard party. He is a real estate agent, and his mortgage broker is also help paying for it. But Jimmy, that's my neighbor, he said, we're roasting a pig.
I love pig roasts. I know, right?
So I know. It's gonna rub some people the wrong way, but he's roasting a pig.
I love pig
roasts. Mortgage guy is providing all the alcohol, and he's like, we're just having a fun time in the backyard, and I know I'm gonna go there, and they're not gonna be like, Bella, sell your house today. But I know that they're sponsoring it, and I know I'm gonna go and have a good time and just socialize with people. And yeah, I know that that's it, but it's going to offer me an opportunity just to get to know people.
Yeah.
And that same experience happens in a Facebook group, you know, like, you know that the business is the one helping facilitate these relationships and this experience. However, they're not in your face about selling. Does that make sense? It
does make sense. And that brings me to another really good point about groups, which is that if it's your group, you need to moderate it. You need to facilitate those discussions, because otherwise it will get taken over by useless crap. We are all in those groups. One of the many local business groups that I'm in, someone posted the other day, they're like, I think I'm going to leave this group because it appears to only be houses for sale. It's supposed to be a group for business owners in general. But the fact is, you know, you need to step in sometimes. The best groups that I'm in make use of... I want to talk to you in a second about some of those tools that you mentioned, like units and files, because those are what the really high-level, really well-run groups are doing. But a lot of the groups that I'm in, the ones that are doing it really well, they have some rules. They have some structure. A lot of them say, you know what, you can only promote yourself on this day of the week as a comment to this particular thread asking for it. The rest needs to be about what value you can bring and connection with others. I'm in a really good group where every single day the moderator posts a very clear post that is the discussion starter of the day. And it's great because you don't have to search for something valuable. You know where that discussion is, and it doesn't get taken over. And she's in that discussion, so if something does get awry and if someone does try to take over, she's able to nip it in the bud.
Yep. What you're talking about there is expectations.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. And expectations of what you're going to feel or what you're going to get, but also what to look for. Because to your point, I'm pretty sure that you know that all of her, the discussions that she's starting, it follows almost like a brand guide. Like you know that picture to look for, right? Mm-hmm. And you can easily spot it through things. So all of that is under creating expectations. So I would ask you, if you're a Facebook group owner right now, if you asked your members, what do you expect from me, or what can you know to expect from me, what would they say? Are they going to all say the same answer, or you're going to, like you just said, you're going to post something really awesome, like a good topic starter once a day, so I don't have to go look through for it. And I know that you're not going to let it get carried away because you're monitoring it. So what does that do for you, Christine? It makes you feel safe.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like your time is going to be well spent there because the moderator is showing up. Yes. Now, I also predict that Facebook group community managers are going to explode because we cannot do all of this.
Like as a job, you mean?
Yes, as a job, 100%. Not a lot of people are talking about it right now, but as groups keep exploding, business owners, entrepreneurs, or businesses in general, they're going to need to assign someone to be that community manager to do what we're talking about right now because it's a lot.
It is, especially with all those new tools. Like, let's talk about what units are and what those tabs are that are appearing in groups because, first of all, they've been around for a while. And were underutilized. But now the actual look of a Facebook group has changed to really emphasize the navigation of that.
Yes. So one of the major pitfalls with a Facebook group feed was that you just had to search through it. Or sometimes you had to search in the bar for a keyword, hope that it was the right one, and then hope that it actually came up and it wasn't some other arbitrary word, you know, because Facebook is not Google where they understand what we mean. And it was frustrating. And then once you click into one, if it wasn't it, you have to go search again. You can't just go back to that search. It was a mess.
Yeah.
An absolute mess. So again, if you got a really good group leader, what they can do is they can use that unit section. So it's almost like filing things away. And then the way that you use it varies. Like I use mine, we have topics every month. So I make sure that my VA goes in and any of my planned content that I produce, we also file it into the unit section. So in 2 months from now, when someone's asking me questions about delegation, I can say, oh, hey, go look at May, the May unit, and you're going to find all the delegation stuff in one place. That then makes our users and our group members have a better experience with us because it's organized. And we can't do that kind of thing on our Facebook profile, a page, or our profile, right? So it helps that learning. Molly Mahoney does it a different way, and I really admire the way that she does it. Again, it takes strategy and thinking ahead, okay? More thinking than what mine does. And what she does is she has like a unit and she has a topic on it, but then she has pictures. Ooh. And these pictures are almost like topics in like subtopics on them, and then she's got a link, and those links direct you to the video that she did inside her group. Nice. Because Molly does a ton of videos.
Yes.
And so it's really like visually oriented the way that she's devised her unit. So my point, Christine, is that there's no wrong way to cut the cookie. And the cookie crumbles many different ways. It's all up to you of what you want to do with it. So units are great. Files are also great, but they could also get out of hand too and very long, right?
What types of files can you and can't you upload to a group?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What type of files can and can't you upload to a group?
You could upload docs. You could upload PDFs. Mm-hmm. You could upload PNGs. I'm not sure about what you can't upload. I haven't really run into that. Or I have to think, what can't you? Do you know?
No.
Okay. Maybe spreadsheets. Spreadsheets I don't think you can upload. But I mean, they're pretty compatible. Like, I mean, for the most part. I would say if you use the files, I would keep it to something that's very universal, Christine.
Yeah.
Like your group roles or major announcements or, what we do is we have an expert come in every single month. So I just call that the hot seat. and then I add that video, that Zoom call video to this document, and I title it. So if you go to the hot seat document, you can see the past year and a half's worth of Zoom call videos.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so that's another way that you can organize things. You know, again, dream it, implement it.
It sounds like a really well-organized group. I think a lot of people, when Facebook pages became a thing, thought that pages were sort of the new websites, but now it feels like groups are, because of how well you can organize that information, because you can actually organize your information in groups, it sounds like, better than you can on a page, in terms of findability of materials.
Yeah, I think they're wildly awesome to be a complement to a product or a service that someone might have. Because you can start and stop them, because you can host all of your information in there, because you can control who comes in and leaves.
That's really key.
But to that point, you know, people are also like, how do I get people in my Facebook groups? And from your website or anywhere that you would normally have that Facebook icon where you're inviting people to come to your Facebook page, you should just have them come to your Facebook group. Mm-hmm. Just make that group instead of the page, because you can post in there as your page.
Yep.
And then you can get people to like your page, or you can share from your page into your group. But your group is where you're going to have more of a fighting chance at that two-way communication.
Yeah.
So I would really promote as much as you can your group.
And that's, by the way, something that I also want to point out. A lot of people don't realize that now you can join groups and engage in groups as a page, because for a long time you had to be in there as a person, and that really prevented a lot of businesses and a lot of business owners. And yeah, I know I'm blurry.
It's okay.
But that really prevented a lot of business owners and businesses from getting involved in groups, because they're like, well, I don't want to do this as me. My Facebook is personal. Like, I really want to just, and I love the fact that you can do it as a business now. I do worry that may overrun groups a little bit.
Yeah, so I have strong feelings on that. I feel like if I'm sharing like a blog that my company just did, okay, you can share that in the group as your business name. But if you have a group, like for me at least, I don't want to be hiding behind my logo, even though everyone knows it's me. Mm-hmm. I actually will use my public figure profile, my public figure page, that page in the group, because it still kind of looks like it's me because it's a public figure. So I would say a workaround, if you can be using pages and you are someone like you or someone like me who we are our brand, right? To use your brand page, you know, the Bella Vasta page. But if you're a company, then that goes back to that conversation that we were just having, that it's going to be so important for you to have a community manager, someone that is in there that people can like almost put a face to the name, or they are your representation, you know?
Mm-hmm. I absolutely love that. That's so true. I would like to, at this point, invite people. First of all, I'm going to refocus here for a second. I would like to invite people, if they have any questions for Bella. It didn't work. Whatever. I'm blurry. It's about you today anyway. But I would like at this point to invite people, if they do have any questions for Bella, please bring them forward while I ask a question of my own, which is, so let's say you're not going to start your own group. You're just engaging in other people's groups. What are some do's and don'ts for getting the most out of that group experience as a participant?
Yeah, so first of all, I think you need to pin it. You need to pin it and mark it as your favorite. You might even want to put the moderator on, like, get notifications.
That's really smart. I hadn't even thought of putting the moderator on get notifications. That's brilliant.
Yeah. I think that you also, I mean, first of all, you gotta almost teach Facebook, so that's why you've gotta favorite it, pin it, all that good stuff. But check in, you know, and also participate, like, say some comments in there. But if it's a group that you like, I always say, like, be the destination. And that's, like, become this major hashtag. You saw it at Social Media Marketing World. And it's this, don't be a drive-by, like the front yard, but be the destination. So, and I'm flipping it back towards the owner, because I think a lot of us are going to be the moderators or the owners of the group. But you have to remember, why does someone want to get on Facebook to go to your group? I'm going to get on Facebook right now, and I might be like aimlessly scrolling, okay? Or am I getting on Facebook to go see Christine's group and what she's doing, you know? And that's the thing, because Christine, I know that you have groups just like I do, that you literally sign on to Facebook to go see the groups.
Yeah.
And Facebook knows that too, which is why right on down here, we now have, we now have this little, the group feed.
Yeah.
And I can turn that
new.
entire thing to just all groups. So that's exciting. I mean, you don't even have to scroll your regular news feed anymore. You can scroll your group feed or the watch feed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Facebook's really stepping it up, and you gotta figure out why and how can you be the destination. I want to go to that party that my neighbor's having because I know it's going to be a fun time, okay? I don't necessarily want to go to that LuLaRoe party. No offense to anyone who sells it. So, yeah.
I love that. That's a really, really good point. I can't get over how great that front yard, backyard analogy is. This has actually changed my opinion on groups because I was starting to get frustrated by groups, honestly, because so many of the groups I'm in are those poorly moderated ones that are overrun, or I feel like almost the opposite. It's for the moderator to present stuff to us as opposed to for us to be, it's hard to strike that balance, I'd imagine, as a moderator.
It is, and I think that's where it comes to the moderator to, if you're going to come to my backyard party, Christine, what am I going to do? I'm going to introduce you to Kelly Noble Marabella and be like, you two will get along because you love social media. I'm going to introduce you to Jen Herman. I am going to be the connector. I am going to allow you guys to start talking, and then I might jump out of that conversation a little bit. And I want to encourage the most I can for that to happen. To the same point, I might have cornhole over in one, or bags over in the corner. I might have a bouncy house over here. So the moms and the dads with the kids, they're going to be over at the bouncy house, and they're going to start talking, oh, how do you know Christine? She's so cool. How did you get here? You know, all this stuff. And that's what's going to happen. You have to create these opportunities for people to connect with themselves, and you have to allow that to connect without you in it. Like I said, like, how weird would it be if you came to my backyard party and I had stadium, like, folding chairs all lined up, and I was like, hello, listen to me, and I was there to lecture you. That's not a party. No. And that's what you were just talking about, Christine.
But at the same time, you know, you are the host, and as you said before, you're not going to invite people into your backyard and then go upstairs and take a nap. You're in it, you're connecting people, and if people need to talk to you, you're there.
Yes.
I love that. That is fantastic. Thank you so much, Bella Vasta. And like myself, and like last week's guest, Jessica Phillips, you're going to be at Social Media Week, Lima, Ohio. Next month on the June 17th and 18th, and I'm going to put, of course, my link in the comments there so that people can come join us. And I'm going to refocus myself now so I can kind of wrap things up and talk about next week's show. Next week is going to feature another speaker from Social Media Week Lima, and this was not deliberate, you guys. I just know freaking everyone on the Social Media Week Lima roster. Next week we're going to have Damian Ross, who does videos every single damn day. So take a wild guess what we're going to talk about.
Video!
Yes! How to make it freaking happen. How to, as Brian Fanzo, who was on my show in 2017, says, press the damn button. Press, not push. So anyway, so everyone tune in next week, Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time. I'm going to be with Damien talking about video. This has been Bella Vasta, who talks about groups and business coaching and all sorts of great stuff. I'm Christine Gritmon, and I do this every week, and thank you for tuning in, and you guys are great. Bye!